All put back together. It's all done and all relabeled and all recabled, but whether it works or not is a different story. Because it hasn't been plugged in yet.
See, only Ernie understands his color scheme.
Well, I mean, come on.
How come my
Orange.
clean stuff's got to be pink, man?
Where are all these for?
All right, so this section of the video, we're going to go over my live rig. I got my rectifiers, a couple Bogners. I like to run my own monitor rig, so I have my whole monitor rack over there with that runs all this. All right, when I'm playing rhythm guitar, I like to have 2 amps going at the same time, and the combination I'm using right now is the Mesa triple rectifier and the Bogner Ubershaw. If you combine, you know, the frequencies both those amps excel in, it sounds massive. So the Bogner's kind of the warmer, spongier tone, and the Boogie's more of that direct, real sharp in your face kind of tone that I love. Also, when I'm playing rhythm, sometimes I'll add the phase 90 just to spice up, you know, the second half of a chorus, or just to, you know, just to make things a little more interesting. And it's the EVH model phase 90. This is the tone bone head bone, and what it does is it allows me to use 2 heads on the same cabinet. So if I wanted you know, a different lead tone than a rhythm tone or a clean tone, I wanted to add more amps than I wanted to carry cabinets for, I could just switch them with this pedal. Now if we want to tackle my lead tone, obviously the triple rectifier switches to orange channel. I crank the mids, pull down the low end so that, you know, to get that nice lead tone out of the Boogie, and then I switch with the head bone, these 2 Bogners, and I switch to the Shiva on these bottom 2 outside cabinets. I always like to keep, whenever I'm doing a lead, I like to have it mainly come from the bottom cabinets. I don't like it to be at head level. It just doesn't sound nice. So I like to keep it on the ground. When I'm playing a lead, I always use these a delay and an overdrive. And these are my favorite pedals I found for that, and they're T-Rex. The first is the T-Rex replica delay pedal, and then the Michelangelo Badio signature overdrive pedal, which is pretty much based after a tube screamer, but it's smoother. It's just a very nice, rich, great sounding pedal. Other than that, when I'm lead, of course, I use the Morley wah. It's, you know, obviously my favorite wah. It's my signature wah. It's the guys from Morley came down to visit me in Orlando, and we found the frequencies that I loved as the wah is engaged, and we extended those and cut out some of the higher frequencies that hurt my ears. So we also added some gain. So if you wanted a little overdrive automatically built into your wah, because usually when I'm using my wah, it's when I am playing a solo, it's built right in. And if you didn't want the gain, you can just set that on 0. These 2 racks here are Palmers, and what they are DIs for my guitar for the front of the house, so he can, you know, get my signal to the front of the house. On the rig, we like to use Planet Waves cables. They're very roadworthy and a nice high quality cable that have treated us well over the years. Now my clean tone. I use 2 Fender Twin 65 reissues. I use the TC Electronics G-Force with some reverb and some delay, and I run them in stereo. I also add, just to keep the low end in the mix, I add the green channel on the triple rectifier through the middle cabinet, and that is it for my clean tone. It's very simple, very straightforward. Other than that, now all we have is the monitor rig. I was tired of arguing with monitor engineers to get the sounds right on stage, so I just had my own monitor rig put together and just pretty much tweak it myself. And what it has is the Crown power amp on the bottom. We got the Furman power conditioner that regulates the power. We travel all around the world, and power is always an issue, so that keeps it pretty constant. The Lexicon has some reverb in it that I run through my monitors over there. Of course, the Mackie board just mixes all my different amps and effects. And up here is just an EQ that also acts as a delay that sets the delay level from the back line and the monitor, so there's no phasing. So you just have to, every stage, enter the feet in between the monitors and the back line, and that issue is solved. So that is my rig. Those are my monitors over here. They have JBL 15s in them, and they've lasted for years and years. So that would be it. All right. So here are my touring guitars. Probably all my favorite guitars in the world. These are all my signature PRS single cuts. This was the second one they ever gave me. The first one's at home, but this is, I believe, the second single cut Paul Reed Smith made, and it's got the cool number 2 on the back of the headstock. This guitar is my favorite guitar in the world. This is my #1 go-to guitar. It's my charcoal burst single cut. This is the second guitar that they gave me with the trem on it, and I think this was the guitar that convinced me that I wanted to have the new line of guitars have the trim. It's got trim up so you can dive and lift up on the bar. It's just a real nice playing guitar. I fell in love with it as soon as I got it. This guitar is I believe the 4th single cut that I was given. I love it. It's Tiger Eye. This guitar actually got stolen back when we were rehearsing back in the Creed days, and somebody had called up and said they had found it in a parking lot and for sale for $400, and he gave it back to us for that $400. Thank God, because it's one of my favorites. But they dinged it up. One of my favorite things about the guitar is the back of the neck. It's got that Tiger Eye running through it. I love the wood there. This is just another black single cut. I use this guitar for all the real low tunings. It's I usually keep this thing about 1.5 steps flat. These guitars, if you notice, they have the string gauges on the back of the guitars because some of them have a different gauge. This was the first of the new line of guitars that they made for me. This is the trim up version of the guitar. We took the name off of the 12th fret and put it on the headstock just in case anybody wanted to use the guitar without my name on there. And if they wanted to take it off the neck, they just take it off the truss rod. This platinum single cut is the first guitar they gave me with the trem on there. Again, it has the trim up, and it's a great playing guitar. It's one of my favorites. The last of my touring guitars are both single cuts. The first one was just a single cut with like the Shelby paint job on it. It's got the same trim up, name on the headstock. I've used it very little so far, but I'll probably take this one home because of the paint job. This is the last guitar that PRS just sent me. I needed another fixed bridge guitar for all the alternate tunings on the new record, and just the same as the first one I showed you. It's just a plain black single cut. And that's concludes the touring guitar section. For guitar strings, I use a combination of strings from sets of 10s and 11s. On the wound strings, I use the strings from the set of 11s, the 49, 38, 28, and on the unwound strings, I go to the set of 10s with the 17, 13, and 10s up top. I do that just because I like the tone of the 11s. When you're digging in some rhythms, it's thicker, it's got a nicer tone, but when I'm playing 11s, sometimes if I practice too long, it will hurt my fingers a little bit, so I use the 10s so I can practice all day long. When it comes to picks, I use Dunlop Jazz 3s. I used to use 1mm nylons, but I tried out a Jazz 3 because I had read up on a bunch of players using them, and tried it out for myself and played around for a couple of days with the Jazz 3, and ever since I couldn't play another pick. I couldn't go back to the 1mm nylons. They just feel like they're way too big, so these are my pick of choice.